Alright guys, so here are the Galaxy Buds. You guys have had a lot of questions about these, and of course I have my Gear IconX earbuds, the 2018 version, right here. So let's go ahead and start with a size comparison. I'm going to take the right earbud out of each one. We're going to go ahead and take a look. So right off the bat, I can tell right away that the new buds, the Galaxy Buds, are considerably smaller. I mean, just looking at the two, just holding the two, you can tell right away. Now the weight difference, are you really going to be able to tell in your ear? I don't really know, but you can tell physically just by looking at these that there's a considerable difference in size, which is awesome because I have particularly small ears apparently, and these buds, the 2018 buds, do tend to get uncomfortable over time, but these being so small will likely do a much better job of staying comfortable for longer, at least in my ears. Something I want to point out real quick on the back here that I think is really important to notice is that you don't have as many contacts. So here you have 5 gold contacts on the back. Here you only have 2. So that what that means is that this just has charging contacts. So you can charge, you put it in the case and you can charge it. These extra contacts here are for USB communication. So previously you could just plug your IconX earbuds into your computer using the case here, and then you'd be able to load music on that way. This way to load music on, I'm assuming this is just going to be either through Bluetooth or maybe like some sort of a wireless connection instead. So I just got confirmation that the only way to put music onto the buds is through the phone. So basically you'd load the music onto your phone first, and then you can transfer it to the buds from there. So I just want to get a couple more shots here. We'll get one from the side so you can see, again, the size difference is pretty dramatic. I'm pretty amazed at the difference in size, and that's something I'm personally really excited about. And when you see this much of a size difference, you might think, oh, the battery life's probably going to be terrible because it has a smaller battery, but it's not. Samsung says that the battery in the new Galaxy Buds actually gives you an extra hour over the previous generation IconX earbuds. So the IconX were rated at 5 hours of listening time, and I've used these a bunch of times, and it is about 5 hours. That's pretty accurate. They say that the Galaxy Buds are actually going to be around 6 hours of music listening. So that's pretty impressive, and I'm assuming that's going to be even longer if you're using music that's stored directly on the buds versus just streaming. So that's 6 hours of streaming time, Bluetooth streaming from your phone. So I switched to the left buds so you guys can see those too. And something else I want to point out about the contacts here is that on the 2018 version, I would have intermittent charging issues because there's so many contacts, and I felt like they just didn't always line up that well. And so a lot of times I would put the buds in the case, and when I go to charge it, I close the case, and then occasionally these would start blinking saying that it's not actually charging. So I'd have to open it back up, kind of fiddle it around, and then put it back in, and then it would actually start charging. It wouldn't blink anymore. Like right there. There you can see right there that it's blinking, stating that it's not charging and you need to adjust the buds. So I'm hoping that with this new design where there are only 2 contact points that are kind of further away from each other, and the contacts on the inside are actually pretty beefy too. I don't know if you guys can see that there. See if I can get some good light on it. I'm hoping that that fixes some of the intermittent charging issues as well. Now, I will be picking a set of these up for myself, so once I do get these in hand and I get to use them for a few weeks, I'll let you guys know how the charging is, if it's intermittent, if it works really well. And then the other issue I had in the older ones was that the charging case wouldn't always hold the charge. So if you didn't use them for like a week and you came back, the earbuds might be dead, or they'd have a lot less battery in them. But with this one, you know, I don't know, with a new case design, new battery, hopefully that issue is fixed as well. But again, I'll let you guys know. Now here's a shot of the 2 cases next to each other. Really considerable difference in size. It's a pretty dramatic difference all around. The earbuds are noticeably much smaller, and then obviously the case is significantly smaller as well. As far as charge capacity, I just asked one of the reps how much charge capacity this case carries. They're not entirely sure. They're going to get back to me, but the previous case was 1 full charge, and the earbuds had larger batteries. So with a smaller case, I'm going to assume that you're going to get another full charge as well. That's just my guess, but when I find out from Samsung rep, I'll let you guys know. I want to take a closer look at the difference between these 2 cases now. Both of them charge with USB-C on the back, but the new Galaxy Buds can also charge wirelessly. So if you put them on a wireless charging pad, they'll be able to charge there as well. Another thing I want to point out is the opening mechanism is different between these 2. So on the old version, there was a button. This is the 2018 version. You push the button, and it just kind of spring-loaded pops the top open, and then it just clicks back into place. And there's kind of a bit of force that pushes down and kind of holds the buds down to make contact and charge them. On the new version, there's kind of a lip that you're going to get your thumb under, and then that pops open. It's really easy to open this, and it's actually a magnetic piece here, I'm assuming along the edge, that holds this in place. So it's held down magnetically, and it's really nice feeling. I mean, it feels, like it holds it really secure. I mean, if I flip it upside down and I shake the buds, like that's not gonna pop open at all. So it's definitely secure enough, but still easy enough to open up. Something I almost forgot to point out that's really important is that there are 2 microphones on this. There's one microphone on the center right here, and then there's another microphone right here as well. And obviously this is for making phone calls or the ambient sound mode where it pipes the sound from the outside into your ears. So if you're going for a run or a jog or something like that, and you want to hear the cars around you coming around, then you turn on ambient sound mode and it uses these microphones to do that. But having this microphone on the inside is actually really an interesting thing that Samsung's done here. When you're making a phone call, the buds are actively listening to see how loud your ambient sound is. Now, here in this conference, things are pretty loud. So what would happen is the outside microphone would detect that, hey, yeah, this is super loud outside. So instead of using this outside microphone for my voice, it would actually switch to this inside microphone to capture my voice. So it would kind of mute the outside sounds, and the person I'm talking to will still be able to hear me really well. Now, I don't know exactly how well this is going to work. I mean, it sounds like a good idea. It sounds like it'll work pretty well, but obviously I haven't been able to try this out, so I'll have to wait until I get my hands on them and have my own personal ones to use for a while before I can really tell you guys how well that's going to work. Also, some of you guys are probably wondering what this little dot here is. That's not a heart rate sensor. That's actually a proximity sensor, so this is how the earbuds know if the buds are in your ears or not. So when you put the bud in your ear, proximity sensor detects, oh, hey, your ear is right there, so let me go ahead and turn on, and then you can start listening to music. And then when you take them out of your ears, proximity sensor is going to detect, oh, hey, your ear's not there anymore, so we're going to go ahead and mute the music or whatever from there. Now, just like with the 2018 version of Samsung's earbuds, these new ones do come with different size tips to fit different ears. So this size here, it looks kind of like a medium size tip, and then you'll get 2 other ones, most likely. I haven't been able to confirm for sure, but you should get multiple ones. I'm going to assume that there's a small, medium, and large tip to fit different size ears, and then same for these, you should get a small, medium, and large earpiece as well to get a proper fit for your ears. Another simple but important thing to point out is that you do have letters here. Let me see if I can get it so you guys can see that in the light. I'll turn it around. I can't quite tell on the video, on the screen, to see if you guys can see that, but there's an L here and an L there, so you know that this is a left wingtip, this is the left earbud. So if you pick them up and you just had them in your hand like this, and you open it up, and you're not too sure which is which, there is a marking on each one to tell you which bud is which. Another great thing to point out here is that these are at least tuned by AKG. So here it says sound by AKG. But it doesn't say like drivers by AKG or anything, so I'm going to assume that means that it's just tuned by AKG. So I'm hoping that makes for even better sound quality out of these versus the last generation, because the last generation was great, really good quality overall. I was very impressed, but there's other competitors in the market that I feel are just slightly better when it comes to sound quality, and you do kind of notice the difference when you use the two kind of side by side. So I'm really hoping that this really steps up Samsung's game in the audio department. The last detail about the Galaxy Buds is one of the most important details, and that's the price. And that price is $129. That's it, $129. The 2018 version, I'm pretty sure, launched at like $200, and they bring these in at $129. That's ridiculous. So I'm super pumped about that low price. So that places these in a really competitive position, and I can't wait to get my hands on it and to see really how many differences there are between these two as far as sound quality goes, and see if there's any differences in features as well that I can't really test out here at this event. So the question remains, should you guys upgrade to the Galaxy Buds from the IconX 2018 earbuds? And my initial impression here, obviously without being able to listen to them, I'd say yes, especially at the price point of $129. Like, wow, that's such a low price for something like this. Samsung really priced themselves competitively, and I love to see that. So if all of the promises of these earbuds are true, like the battery life is as good as it says, the sound quality is as good as they say it's going to be, and the battery case is much more reliable and all of those things, which I won't be able to tell until I get my own that I can really test out for a few weeks, then yeah, if it lives up to all that hype, these are absolutely worth the upgrade. But I'll give you guys a definitive answer once I've had a chance to use these for a while, and I'll compare them to a few other earbuds as well, like the Jabra earbuds, and we'll see kind of how they stack up against the rest of the competition. So don't forget to subscribe to see that when it's uploaded.